Shophetim, Judges, chapter 1. And it came to be after the death of Yahushua that the children of Yisrael asked Yahuah, saying, Who of us should go up first against the Canaanites to fight against them? And Yahuah said, Yehudah goes up, see, I have given the land into his hand. And Yehudah said to Shimon his brother, Come up with me into my allotment, and let us fight against the Canaanites, and I myself shall also go with you into your allotment. So Shimon went with him. And Yehudah went up, and Yahuah gave the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hand. And they smote 10,000 men at Bezek. And they found Adonai Bezek in Bezek, and fought against him, and smote the Canaanites and the Perizzites. But Adonai Bezek fled, and they pursued him and caught him and cut off his thumbs and big toes. And Adonai Bezek said, 70 sovereigns with their thumbs and big toes cut off used to gather under my table. As I have done, so Elohim has repaid me. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and he died there. And the children of Yehudah fought against Jerusalem and captured it, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and lit the city on fire. And afterward the children of Yehudah went down to fight against the Canaanites who dwelt in the mountains, in the Negev, and in the low country. And Yehudah went against the Canaanites who dwelt in Hebron. Now the name of Hebron was formerly Kiriath Arba. And they smote Sheshai, and Achiman, and Talmai. And from there they went against the inhabitants of Debir. Now the name of Debir was formerly Kiriath Sephir. And Caleb said, He who smites Kiriath Sephir, and shall capture it, to him I shall give my daughter Eksa as wife. And Othni'el, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, captured it, and he gave him his daughter Eksa as wife. And it came to be when she came in that she urged him to ask her father for a field. And when she got off from her donkey, Caleb said to her, What is the matter? And she said to him, Give me a berakah, since you have given me land in the Negev. Give me also springs of water. So Caleb gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. And the children of the Canaanite, father-in-law of Moshe, went up from Ha-Temarim with the children of Yehudah into the wilderness of Yehudah, which is in the south of Arad. And they went and dwelt among the people. And Yehudah went with Shimon his brother, and they smote the Canaanites who inhabited Zepheth, and put it under the ban. So the name of the city was called Hormah. And Yehudah captured Azah and its border, and Ashkelon and its border, and Ekron and its border. And Yahuah was with Yehudah, so they took possession of the mountains, but they were unable to drive out the inhabitants of the plain, because they had chariots of iron. And they gave Hebron to Caleb, as Moshe had said, and he drove out from there the 3 sons of Anak. However, the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites who inhabited Jerusalem. So the Jebusites have dwelt with the children of Benjamin in Jerusalem to this day. And the house of Joseph also went up against Bethel, and Yahuah was with them. And the house of Joseph sent men to spy out Bethel. Now the name of the city was formerly Luz. And the watchmen saw a man coming out of the city, and they said to him, Please show us the entrance to the city, and we shall show you kindness. So he showed them the entrance to the city, and they smote the city with the edge of the sword. But the man and all his clan they let go. And the man went to the land of the Hittites, and built a city, and called its name Luz, which is its name to this day. And Manasseh did not dispossess Beth Shean and its villages, nor Taanach and its villages, nor the inhabitants of Dor and its villages, nor the inhabitants of Yivleam and its villages, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo and its villages, for the Canaanites desired to dwell in that land. And it came to be when Yisrael was strong that they put the Canaanites into compulsory labor, but did not completely drive them out. Neither did Ephraim drive out the Canaanites who dwelt in Gezer, so the Canaanites dwelt in the midst in Gezer. Neither did Zebulun drive out the inhabitants of Kitron or the inhabitants of Nehelol, so the Canaanites dwelt in their midst and became compulsory labor. Neither did Asher drive out the inhabitants of Akko, nor the inhabitants of Sidon, nor of Echlev, nor of Ekzib, nor of Chelba, nor of Aphek, nor of Rehov. So the Asherites dwelt in the midst of the Canaanites and the inhabitants of the land, because they did not drive them out. Neither did Naphtali drive out the inhabitants of Beth Shemesh, nor the inhabitants of Beth Aneth, but they dwelt among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, and the inhabitants of Beth Shemesh and of Beth Anath became compulsory labor for them. And the Amorites pressed the children of Dan into the mountains, for they would not allow them to come down to the valley. And the Amorites desired to dwell in Mount Cherez, in Ayalan, and in She'elbim. But when the hand of the house of Joseph became stronger, they became compulsory labor. And the border of the Amorites was from the ascent of Ekrebim, from Silah and upward. Shophetim, Judges, chapter 2. And the messenger of Yahuah came up from Gilgal to Bochim and said, I led you up from Mitzrayim and brought you to the land of which I swore to your fathers, and I said, I do not break my covenant with you, and as for you, do not make a covenant with the inhabitants of this land, break down their altars. But you have not obeyed my voice. What is this you have done? Therefore I also said, I am not driving them out before you, and they shall be adversaries to you, and their mighty ones shall be a snare to you. And it came to be, when the messenger of Yahuah spoke these words to all the children of Yisrael, that the people lifted up their voice and wept. So they called the name of that place Bochim, and slaughtered thereto Yahuah. Then Yahushua dismissed the people, and the children of Yisrael went each to his own inheritance to possess the land. And the people served Yahuah all the days of Yahushua and all the days of the elders who outlived Yahushua, who had seen all the great works of Yahuah which he had done for Yisrael. And Yahushua son of Nun, the servant of Yahuah, died 110 years old. And they buried him within the border of his inheritance at Timnath-Heres in the mountains of Ephraim, on the north side of Mount Gaash. And all that generation were likewise gathered to their fathers, and another generation arose after them, who did not know Yahuah, nor the work which he had done for Yisrael. Then the children of Yisrael did evil in the eyes of Yahuah, and served the Baals, and forsook Yahuah Elohim of their fathers, who had brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim, and went after other mighty ones of the people who were all around them, and they bowed down to them and provoked Yahuah. So they forsook Yahuah and served Baal and the Ashtoreths. And the displeasure of Yahuah burned against Yisrael. Therefore he gave them into the hands of the plunderers who despoiled them. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies all around, and they were unable to stand before their enemies any longer. Wherever they went out, the hand of Yahuah was against them for evil, as Yahuah had spoken, and as Yahuah had sworn to them, and they were distressed greatly. Then Yahuah raised up rulers who saved them from the hand of those who plundered them. However, they did not listen to their rulers either, but went whoring after other mighty ones and bowed down to them. They soon turned aside from the way in which their fathers walked in obeying the commands of Yahuah. They did not do so. And when Yahuah raised up rulers for them, Yahuah was with the ruler and saved them from the hand of their enemies all the days of the ruler, for Yahuah had compassion on their groaning because of those who oppressed them and crushed them. And it came to be when the ruler was dead that they would turn back and do more corruptly than their fathers, to go after other mighty ones to serve them and bow down to them. They did not refrain from their practices and from their stubborn way. And the displeasure of Yahuah burned against Yisrael, and he said, because this nation has transgressed my covenant that I commanded their fathers, and has not obeyed my voice, I also shall no longer drive out before them any of the nations which Yahushua left when he died, in order to try Yisrael by them, whether they would guard the way of Yahuah, to walk in them as their fathers guarded them, or not. So Yahuah left those nations without driving them out at once, and did not give them into the hand of Yahushua. Shophetim, Judges, chapter 3. And these are the nations which Yahuah left to try Yisrael by them, all those who had not known all the battles in Canaan, only that the generations of the children of Yisrael might know to teach them battle, only those who before did not know them. 5 princes of the Pelishites and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians and the Hivites who dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon to the entrance of Hamath. And they were to try Yisrael by them, to know whether they would obey the commands of Yahuah, which he had commanded their fathers by the hand of Moshe. Thus the children of Yisrael dwelt in the midst of the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and they served their mighty ones. Thus the children of Yisrael did evil in the eyes of Yahuah, and forgot Yahuah their Elohim, and served the Baals and the Asherahs. And the displeasure of Yahuah burned against Yisrael, and he sold them into the hand of Ch1-3, sovereign of Aram Neheraim. And the children of Yisrael served Ch1-3 8 years. And when the children of Yisrael cried out to Yahuah, Yahuah raised up a savior for the children of Yisrael, who saved them, Othni'el, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. And the Ruah of Yahuah came upon him, and he ruled Yisrael and went out to battle, and Yahuah gave into his hand Ch1-3, sovereign of Aram Neheraim. And his hand prevailed over Ch1-3, and the land had rest for 40 years. Then Othni'el, son of Kenaz, died. And the children of Yisrael again did evil in the eyes of Yahuah, and Yahuah made Eglon, sovereign of Moab, strong against Yisrael, because they had done evil in the eyes of Yahuah. And he gathered to himself the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Yisrael, and they took possession of Tamarim. And the children of Yisrael served Eglon, sovereign of Moab, 18 years. And when the children of Yisrael cried out to Yahuah, Yahuah raised up a savior for them, Ehud, son of Gerah, a Benjamite, a left-handed man. And by him the children of Yisrael sent a present to Eglon, sovereign of Moab. And Ehud made himself a sword. It was double-edged and an amah in length, and he girded it under his long robe on his right thigh. And he brought the present to Eglon, sovereign of Moab. Now Eglon was a very fat man. And it came to be that when he had finished bringing near the present, he sent away the people bearing the present. But he himself turned back from the stone images that were at Gilgal, and said, I have a secret message for you, O sovereign. And he said, Be silent. And all those standing beside him went out from him. And Ehud came to him while he was sitting in his cool roof room. And Ehud said, I have a message from Elohim for you. So he arose from his seat, and Ehud reached with his left hand and took the sword from his right thigh and thrust it into his stomach. And the handle went in after the blade, and the fat closed over the blade, for he did not draw the sword out of his stomach, and it came out behind. Then Ehud went out to the porch and shut the doors of the upper room behind him and locked them. And when he had gone out, his servants came to look and saw the doors of the room were locked. So they said, He is only covering his feet in the cool roof room. And they waited until they were ashamed, but saw he was not opening the doors of the upper room. So they took the key and opened them and saw their master fallen to the ground dead. But while they were delaying, Ehud escaped and had passed beyond the stone images and escaped to Sirah. And it came to be when he arrived that he blew the ram's horn in the mountains of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with him from the mountains, with him leading them. And he said to them, Follow me, for Yahuah has given your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. And they went down after him and took the fords of Yarden leading to Moab, and did not allow anyone to pass over. And they smote about 10,000 men of Moab at that time, all robust and brave men, and not a man escaped. And on that day Moab was humbled under the hand of Yisrael, and the land had rest for 80 years. And after him was Shamgar, son of Anath, and he smote 600 men of the Pelashites with an ox goad, and he too saved Yisrael.